Well, greetings everyone. My name is Joko. I'm an English teacher who likes to do videos, who likes to review people's essays and make a big production out of it because I like the attention. Hey folks, Joko here, and I've got an essay I want to review tonight for someone at the IELTS Tips and Tricks page on Facebook, and it happens to be and the title is, Do You Support Your Positions? Because although, as we'll see, it's a fairly well-written essay, it suffers from a lack of support for the positions. In other words, there are some ideas that are stated which relate to the points that are being made, but, as you'll see, they're just stated. There's no support for them, which makes an otherwise very well-written essay lose marks. Okay? It isn't just enough to say what you believe. State some ideas. You have to support those ideas. Written by Ronnie from Dhaka, right next door here to Myanmar in Bangladesh. And what does Ronnie have to say? Well, let's look at the question first. It is a discuss both views and give your own opinion. And as I've talked about in previous videos, the key with analyzing this type of question is really breaking down and understanding who are the people, or what are the two views. Are they opposing views? Is there an overlap? Who believes it? Where are they? Ask yourself all the WH questions about the groups involved. And what do they believe? Okay, so here we have two groups. Some of them think that illegal internet downloads are having I hate to have to correct the grammar in the question, but I can't help it. It has to be a negative effect on the music industry. And then with just a comma like this, shouldn't there be like a while? Or that should be a semicolon. You can't just have two independent clauses like that. While others feel that they, who are they? Okay, they being the illegal internet downloads, have little or no impact on artists. So now, the first view is that the illegal internet downloads have a negative effect upon the music industry. The industry, not the artists, the industry. And it's a very specific thing, the illegal internet download. Now, the second view is not necessarily the other side. That is what is so often misunderstood about this type of question, is that you've got two sides of an argument. No, they deliberately choose the words views because again, I'm talking about the difference between a 7 and an 8 and a 9 here, but not a 6 and a 7. But to fully satisfy or to answer all parts of the question, you need to address exactly what they're talking about. And here they say that illegal internet downloads have little or no impact. So that's the view you need to discuss. Okay? Not whether it's okay to download illegal music. It's that the illegal music has little or no impact. That is the thing that some people believe. And if you disagree with that, that's fine. But you can't skip over that little or no impact part. And specifically on who? The artists. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Now, the second sentence in there, give reasons for your answers and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. That wasn't on what Ronnie posted. Hopefully it was in the example question that he was looking at, because this sentence is on every task 2. And Ronnie doesn't do it. All right, so introduction and body paragraph number 1. So for those who are watching for the first time, an introduction to my color code. Task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, and grammar, range and accuracy. I got to fix that. Are the 4 band criteria within the band descriptors. And I color code my comments based upon what they're affecting in the band descriptors. I've changed it. It's not red anymore. I'm using red here, but red, it was too hostile, so I've changed it to pink. Okay, let's have a listen, shall we?
Over the past few decades, due to the internet and invention of newer technology, piracy of music has become less complicated and more common. While some argue that downloading music illegally do not have much detrimental effect on artists, others firmly believe that pirated music have deleterious effect on the music industry. In this essay, I will discuss both the sides of the argument and explain my support for the latter view.
Okay, all right. Bit long for an introduction. Do you really need that first sentence? I mean, it introduces the topic, but does it really add anything to the essay? Does it advance the essay in any way? No, not really. All it does really is give you a chance to make mistakes, which you have. I don't know why people do this, but it's really a simple rule. Whenever you start a sentence with a time phrase, I did this in the last video, you must end that time phrase with a comma. So, over the past few decades, comma. And then you have another phrase, due to the internet and, and the invention. We need, and the invention. My green is in the wrong spot. And the invention of newer technology. Newer than what? Newer technology? I don't know. Comma. The piracy, or actually you can get away with no the there because it's an uncountable noun. Piracy of music has become less complicated, all right, and more common. Has it really? Is that in the question? Do you know that from your own experience? I remember from the 2000s with Napster and all these. Anyway, I'm not going to argue your point, but it's not necessarily true, so why include it? Well, some argue that downloading do. Okay, so basic grammar mistakes do count as grammar mistakes. So we've got grammar mistakes here, grammar mistakes here. Downloading music illegally is a singular noun. It's one thing. So you need does not have much detrimental effect. Okay? All right, now effect and effect. Effect is a verb. Effect, pronounced the same way, is a noun. So you meant to say effect with an E. Not having an effect on artists. Others firmly believe, do they? I don't see firmly up here, but okay, that pirated music, once again, singular. Pirated music is a singular noun. Has deleterious. I underline because it's good use of deleterious. And effect. Now, note, effect is in the question. So you don't get any good points for saying this. Okay, you could say deleterious influence or impact. Something other than what's in the question. And so it's kind of, they happen to line up here, but, whoops. Have I paused? No, I'm still going. Right. They line up here, but that's just kind of odd. All right. All right. I'm not a big fan of the "I will discuss both sides" statement. I don't think it's necessary. Now, if you want to use an outline statement, you could say you could present them sequentially. That I like, particularly for people who are trying to get to a 7. If you're already at a 7 and you're trying to get to an 8, then none of that is necessary. You don't need it. You don't need an essay statement at all. Okay, but if you are going to do one, I'd suggest something like, this essay will first discuss how or why some people feel that some people feel that there is little to no, or I don't want to repeat this, that there's minimal effect or minimal harm done to individual artists by the music. while I will explain that the industry itself is severely impacted. So you set us up for what you're going to say and the order in which you're going to say it. And in so doing, you can present your opinion. Okay, let's have a listen.
People who believe that illegal music downloads possess no destructive effect on an artist's career or the music industry as a whole may think so from an economical point of view. As they believe music is an universal source of entertainment, if a person from Silicon Valley has the privilege to download their heart's content through programs that are paid and legal, then so should any underprivileged person have access to something similar which makes him happy. Moreover, these proponents may also believe that musicians earn a lot with their every release and something like downloading a pirated music will not cause them a huge loss.
All right. Okay, so we will assume here downloads. It's just a typo. Poses, misspelling there. No destructive. Well, deleterious was good. Destructive and harmful are very different. Okay, destructive is a severe adjective. On an artist's career, or the music industry as a whole. See, no, that's not what the question is asking. Some people think that it has no negative effect on artists. You can't then extend it to what the other people are saying. It's not saying that. That's not the point. That's not the view. May think so from an economical point of view. Now, I think what you were trying to say there was from an economic point of view. Those two adjectives are frequently mistaken for one another, economical and economic. Okay? Now, economic means having to do with the study of money and an idea based upon economics. Now, economical is someone who is frugal, someone who is or something that saves money. Okay, so an economical point of view would be a point of view that saves money. But you mean economics, so you should have said economic point of view. However, you don't present an economic point of view. So your topic sentences doesn't match your argument. And your argument is a philosophical point of view. I guess that music is somehow a universal, and universal. Universal starts with a Y sound, so it's a universal source of entertainment. Now, what does that mean? It's good Lexis, but good Lexis doesn't do you any good if you don't show that. If you don't explain it, okay? Now that's a turn of phrase that requires you to expand upon what you mean by a universal source of entertainment. That it shouldn't have a price. That everyone should be able to enjoy it for free. Okay, if that's your point, well then make that point. But instead, you can get into this sort of class thing here. If a person from Silicon Valley, I went to high school in Silicon Valley, by the way, has the privilege, spelled wrong, to download their heart's content. Good attempt at idiomatic phrasing, but idioms, yeah, that's a formal idiom. I would give you that. It's okay. But you don't download your heart's content. It's download to their heart's possessive, heart apostrophe S, content. So download is, you don't, okay, so content through programs that are paid and legal. Yeah, right. Then, so should any underprivileged, all right, person have access to something similar. Well, why? Because music is economic, because music is universal? All right, that's your position. How do you support it? You don't. You simply move on to the next point. And that was what I was saying at the beginning. Okay? You need to explain your point. And, it doesn't matter if they agree or disagree with your point. Okay? It doesn't matter what I think of your point. But you have to follow that sentence up with something, like, okay, maybe a transition. In other words, because music is essentially a, well, what do you mean by universal source of entertainment? Music music belongs to everyone and shouldn't have a price tag put on it. So, just because someone is born poor. So, actually, what you're saying is that it's okay for poor people to download music illegally. All right. Yeah, that's a tough position to support, but that's the one you've chosen. I got it. Here's what you could have said, is that, that if someone is able to pay for music, they should. But if a poor person in an underprivileged country downloads illegal music, well, they wouldn't be buying it anyway, because they wouldn't be able to afford it. So they're not really, and there you go, that's your connection to little or no impact, is that the impact comes from people who would pay for it otherwise, if there were no, if they didn't have, if they could get it free, they're not going to pay for it. But if they can't get it free, they're not going to download it, and they're not going to pay for it in the first place. So what's the harm? Follow me there? Anyway, which makes him happy. Nowadays we use them for gender non-specific unknown third persons. Moreover, that your only cohesive device you use in the whole essay is moreover. It's the only one. And moreover has a very specific meaning. It means that the thing that follows moreover must be, or is, in addition to, and more important than the thing that came before it. Does that follow here? Moreover, these proponents may also believe that musicians earn a lot with their every release, and something like downloading pirated music, we don't need there's a little typo there, caused them a huge loss. Well, the first point wasn't really clear, so it's hard to say if the second point is more important. But it doesn't go to the point of that there's no destructive effect. They make a lot of money with every release, so pirated music doesn't cause them a huge loss. Well, you just said that downloading piracy, you started by saying that pirating music is more common. Well, if it's more common, then isn't it causing them harm? Okay. Next paragraph. All right, next paragraph. Okay.
However, I ardently believe that downloading music illegally is threatening the music industry. People who work in the music industry earn their money through royalties. Illicit download of music puts an end to these royalty services which an established artist receives. Hence, pirating of one artist affects whole of music industry, forcing record labels to pay smaller sums to the established artists. In addition, when mainstream artists are being paid less due to piracy issues, emerging new musicians struggles even more to make their ends meet. Thus, strong copyright infringement laws must be enacted against those who indulge in piracy. In conclusion, although there may be individuals who believe that music must be enjoyed by all irrespective of the source and method of download, I firmly stand with those who believe that piracy causes detrimental effect to the music industry.
Smoke in my eye. All right, well, this is getting on to 20 minutes here, so let's try to wrap it up. Okay. All right. Topic sentence, you state your opinion, but you don't tell us why. That's not really the topic sentence. That's just your opinion. Maybe we'll find a topic sentence coming next. People who work in the music industry earn their money through royalties. No, they do not. The music industry refers to artists, but also record producers and and record executives and people who work in music shops and people who print the CDs and such. And it's not just so. That's a patently incorrect statement. Illicit download of music puts an end to these. Puts an end to. Well, I mean, it's a good use of vocabulary. Puts an end to. I mean, but once again, it's not accurate. There's still people buying. I mean, you can say that there are no royalties for pirated music, but it doesn't put an end to these royalty services. It's not a service which an established artist receives. All right. Well, you were talking about the music industry, right? That's who's being hurt. The music industry. Well, certainly established artists are part of that, but you're just looking at one aspect. And you don't make that clear. Hence, pirating of one artist affects the whole of the music industry. Nope, that's not supported. Forcing record labels to pay smaller sums to the established artists. Huh? Forcing them. Well, I don't know about forcing them. It just results in smaller sums. And what happened to, it puts an end to the royalties. A sentence ago, it put an end to it. Now it's just smaller sums. In addition, let me see, right? And now this is another idea that is completely unsupported. When mainstream artists are being paid less due to piracy issues, emerging new musicians, plural, this is the third time you make subject-verb agreement error. And when you make the same basic grammar mistake 3 times, that's the magic number, it is assumed that you do not know that rule. It is no longer considered a slip. Okay, you can make grammar mistakes, little ones, and it affects your grammar error-free sentences. But even with a simple one like this, when you make the same mistake 3 times, in the eyes of the examiners, they think that you don't know that rule, which we teach in elementary level English. So you should be ashamed of yourself. Musicians, plural, struggle. Struggle even more to make their ends meet. Once again, a nice attempt to use idiomatic expressions, but they don't make their ends meet. They make ends meet. They don't need a there in there. No there in there. There? Thus. You know what? Copyright infringement laws are already in effect, so you can't enact them. They must be enforced more rigorously against those who indulge in piracy. Okay, so in conclusion, there may be individuals believing must be enjoyed. Must be? Strange use of must. It shouldn't be must. Should, or, should be enjoyed by all. I firmly stand. You said firmly stand once already. Or was it firmly believe? So you don't get credit for using the same phrases twice. With those believing a detrimental effect. Detrimental effects, it's more than one, to the music industry. Well, I don't think you addressed all parts of the question fully. So there's lots of error-free sentences. So like grammar, 7/8. Lexical, 7/8. Somewhere, I don't want to give you specific numbers because I don't think that's appropriate. Coherence and cohesion, there's very little connection of the ideas. It still flows. I mean, you do feel like you're going on a journey here with this essay, and it does progress. I will give you that. And there are some cohesive devices, hence Thus, however, moreover was not your only one.
However,
So,
I
oops,
ardently
I
believe
didn't stop. Oh, okay. So you're borderline there, but you know I think you're going to get a 6. It might be a 7. You don't have to support your positions to get a 7. That's the weird thing. You know, maybe in 7. Let's take a look what it says. I got it up here, right? Navigator. Here. Let's bring up the band descriptors. Okay. Yeah, okay, so your supporting ideas may lack focus. You can get away with that. But do you really have supporting ideas? Certainly it does not rise to well-developed extent and supported ideas. Your ideas are not supported, so there's no way it's innate. Does it fall down to inadequately developed? It might. So, I hope you take something from that. And at 26 minutes and 26 seconds, I'm done.